Alright everyone, there's a free Crowder hashtag that was going around yesterday. I would have covered it then, but I had things I had to do. And big tech, at this point, with its censorious nature increasingly so, is really beginning to drive people to other platforms. Again, there's a reason that I use a lot of alt tech sites. There's a reason that I'm uploading everything to Steemit, to BitChute. There's a reason I back things up even to like Dailymotion, which is antiquated. There's a reason I use Gab and not just Twitter. There's a reason I use Minds now more than I use Facebook or really have in several years. There's a reason for it. It's because big tech. It's becoming less fun and more censored. When a site that prided itself on, hey, we got the weirdest shit you can find in video form, which was early wave YouTube, when it buckles down and matures, it becomes boring. And then as it becomes, mature and becomes a moneymaker, NGOs and other companies come in, ad firms, and then they slowly destroy it. That's what's happening to YouTube. It's what's happening certainly to Twitter, and Facebook's already crumbling. They're crumbling out of existence, which, by the way, is great. The only one unscathed at the moment is Amazon. That's because Amazon doesn't really do the express yourself sort of thing. It's more like, hey, sell stuff on our fucking site. It's more like a gigantic version of eBay. By the way, I still use eBay more for purchasing, but I do use Amazon for self-publishing. I think it's great. I have no problem with Amazon as a company. I realize there's some exploitation concerns there. I think those can be addressed. The Democrats are saying, well, tax them more. That's not going to work, dude. It's just going to fuck someone like me. But with Steven Crowder, he appears to have been suspended from Twitter for absolutely no reason. Like, there was nothing that actually triggered it. It was just, hey, your activity recently you've been naughty, so we're suspending you temporarily from Twitter. Now, some people are saying, oh, he's not suspended. His account's still there. Suspension on Twitter doesn't mean your account's gone. Suspension means they lock you out of your account, probably so that if someone's raiding you at the time, they can keep raiding you and you can't, delete stuff in order to prevent them from digging back 2 years through your history to nitpick about something you said about an old dead issue. That's really what it's about. Now, Crowder is not particularly out there. He is a comedian, first and foremost. He's a satirist. He cracks jokes. He trolls people in real life. He'll dress up as Jank and crash his panel or something. He's a funny man. It's not even so much just political discourse. It's specifically satire within the realm of politics. He and apparently several of his staff were all suspended around the same time for inappropriate behavior. Now, what this was probably some off-color joke. So basically, Twitter's saying, yeah, the reason for our platform is interpersonal interactions that often are of a humorous nature. But fuck that, this dude's like, he leans to the right, so, we can't have him doing the satire. Now, Crowder is someone that I don't agree with on quite a few issues. I don't agree with him on abortion. I think he's like rabidly pro-life, and he's, if I remember correctly, he's also religious, if I remember correctly, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different commentator. So, I don't agree with him on everything. I don't share all of his political beliefs, but I don't think the dude should be suppressed for them. Twitter comes out, yeah, we're not going to give you a reason. It's like with YouTube recently. A lot of people, they end up with strikes and they don't even get an explanation. Their account just is suddenly gone. They wake up, their account has been disappeared, Stalin style. They can't even actually appeal it because there's no link to appeal. It's not like in the normal sense when you get a strike, you press yes, I'd like to appeal this. You fill out the form, you're like, hey, you're wrong. I wasn't harassing people. Hey, you're wrong. That wasn't my cock. It was just, it was just a snow cone. Now, something like that. And then you can try to get the video restored so you don't have a strike on your account. Now, there are cases in which someone's account in totality just disappears. Now, YouTube keeps saying, well, these staff that we hired aren't fully trained, so there are a little bit of, there's a few problems. Well, then train them before deploying them would be my advice. Tell them that, one instance of someone uploading something that you could strike down means they get a strike. It doesn't mean you delete their channel. That's after 3 strikes. Sometimes more. There's a bit of discretion involved for some odd reason. Some people get 5 or 6 copyright strikes. They're still there and uploading. It's weird. I've tackled bot accounts before that just rip off other people's material. They apparently have some sort of home field advantage when it comes to DMCA claims that they're never going to... It's a bot, so they're never going to be able to debate the claim. Nobody's going to appeal the claim because it's hooked to a fake email. It's run through a machine or some crazy shit. As far as Crowder goes, what did he do wrong? I look at his material. It's extremely funny sometimes. Some of it not so much. Anything involving Jank is hilarious. Anything involving him lambasting the Young Turks is great to me. because I too think that the Young Turks are crazy. You know, in the wake of Zhenk's old blog resurfacing, certainly takes on a new meaning when you're making fun of him as far as being funny. But Crowder's primarily satirist. What exactly did he do? I'm not even getting an explanation. I'm not seeing anywhere where the specific tweet that was taken down or the specific behavior was even mentioned. And why the hell would his staffer apparently be suspended at the same time? Like, that has nothing to do with Crowder. It looks like a coordinated sort of thing stemming from Twitter itself. Now, the hashtag, the Free Crowder thing, was viral, actually, for several hours. I'm surprised they didn't suppress it faster. People were very, very upset, including some people that were they're not exactly right-wing. Like Paul Joseph Watson is going to weigh in. Razorfist, who's, I think, been on Crowder's show 3 times now. I'm going to weigh in. But you're not used to other people. I think even a few lamestream journalists are beginning to see how dystopian it's becoming. They're beginning to get uncomfortable. This might be how the modern wave of censorship inevitably collapses. The strength of a few lame streamers within the media becomes greater when combined with the alt media than the soccer moms and NGOs' power combined. That could be how modern censorship begins to stagnate and maybe go in the other direction. It's happened before. We had way more censorship online 10 years ago. Then it begins to be rescinded. It becomes far less censored. These big tech firms take off because of a lack of censorship. Hey, YouTube and Twitter, listen up. That's why you grew so fast during that period. Now it's more censored. Hopefully it begins moving back in the other direction. We get another golden age on like YouTube and Twitter. Where they're like, well, we realize there have been concerns about the fact that we've been randomly locking people out of their accounts. We realize it concerns people when their account gets Stalined for little or no provocation. We realize that merely minor offensive speech shouldn't be blocked from our platform because, hey, the First Amendment actually fucking matters. And we have a sort of a moral responsibility because we're the arbiters of most human communication at this point. Hopefully that happens. I'm not going to hold my breath again for the next year or two, but at some point it might. So I think Crowder should be restored. They should owe him an apology. You have someone who's big on your platform, you've abused them, you've wrongfully terminated them, you've wrongfully suspended them, you treated them like trash despite all the money they've made for you. You owe them an apology at that point. Otherwise it just looks bad. And look, Twitter and all these other sites are beginning to wear thin on a lot of people whose ideology is, shall we say, anything other than neoliberalism. They're pissing off the right wing, they're pissing off progressives, they're pissing off libertarians. You're pissing off most of the population. Most people are not part of the normie core of neoliberalism and/or they are cowardly conservatives in name only who won't stand up for people who are being abused. Most people will stand up to it. When you see people on the left praising Generation Z as, they're going to want to censor hate speech and take people's guns away and they'll do it. No, I don't think so, dude. I think you shouldn't be happily awaiting what's coming for you. I think it's going to collapse neoliberalism entirely. It's going to be funny. It's going to be good for the world, I think, when that happens. So Steven Crowder should be apologized to by Jack himself. Jack should make a tweet saying, it was a mistake, dude. It was like an algorithm acted up. A staffer that has since been himself suspended for a few days without pay made a wrong call. So we're sorry, Steven. They should really do that. That's about all. Peace out.